I want to see you in that motherfucking tank top. I'll give you the stank face. What the fuck is going on over here?
Welcome to the Tangents Podcast. It's FordaHub. Today we're doing a tier list with homie James, motherfucker Kanan, and Mr.Wayde. Without further ado, let's just get into this.
Ready.
All right, so where are we starting? Where are we starting? Are we just gonna go down the line? We're gonna pick at random. Where do you guys want to start at?
We can do it either way. Like, you could go down the line, or we could just be like all the ones that we like fully agree on. Like, get those out of the way, because you know the Xbox 360. That's S tier. That's S tier. Xbox 360 controller.
We can just get that out of the way.
Undefeated, never lost.
Right, we can all agree on that, right? 360's S tier.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If not, get out. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
I mean, hell, Xbox had some solid games when it first came out, so I ain't gonna lie.
Games. It's just the controller, my guy. It's just the controller.
I mean, it's the first controller I learned the flight pattern on. You know, chucking it across the room.
Oh, true. Man, yeah, for sure, dude. I think it's like the perfect size for hands, and like I don't know why I don't like it nowadays, but back then the thumb placement being offset, for some reason I really fucked with that when I was younger. Not so much nowadays, but back in the day that was my shit. I loved how it did that.
I think I still kind of like it, but I don't know. I feel like it doesn't like get in the way. Like right now, I can you could take like with a PS4 controller or PS5 controller. I think even like you could take the sticks and like hit them together.
False.
Okay, your thumbs would hit though. Your thumbs would hit.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, that's a little bit closer. I can buy that.
What do you mean? Those aren't close at all.
My thumbs are literally hitting.
Yeah, because you're controlling it with the fucking knuckle, with the fucking crevice. If you put the tips of your fingers on there like a normal person, look at this. Never in my life.
All right. Enough of that.
Well, I can't have you throwing shade at the DualShock 4 because we all know where it's
going.
It
still goes S tier.
All right, we can get that one out of the way next. DualShock 4
is
S tier.
I still have 4 of them sitting on my desk right now.
Where's it at?
It's right there.
W.
All right. And before we get any farther, I just want to get one thing out of the way.
There should be another list that says why.
Yeah, honestly, there should be another layer just trash.
Doesn't belong.
All right, Dalen, you got the Wii U controller? What?
Yeah, that's just a tablet.
Yeah, it's not really a controller.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Switch's underachieving cousin.
Yeah,
I'd almost put the Switch like close to down there too, with the 2 remotes.
The Joy-Cons.
Yeah, not my favorite. Not my favorite. Yeah. Like it's fun. Like the Switch is fun. I enjoy the Switch, but I do not really enjoy that remote. I'd put it C. It's above Wii U. It's above Wii U.
You know what? I think it deserves B. I'm gonna be that guy. I think it deserves B. I think it deserves B. I think it's a solid argument for B.
How?
Argue. Let's hear this.
Britt said cat.
I'm with Britt.
Hey, fair enough. But look, I think it's B tier because I admit I don't like using like the one side of it as my whole remote. But you got to give it to it. The versatility alone, I think, makes it go into B tier. It slides on and off the console, right? It has built-in shoulder buttons, and Nintendo gives you a slider to make the shoulder buttons bigger. It can be one controller. It can be 2. You know, I just think because the versatility, it should be at least it's functional. It's very functional.
Not what the picture is, though. Okay.
The Joy-Con.
That's not what
So the Joy-Con. The Joy-Con does these things.
It's like you got one thumb way the fuck up here and one thumb way the fuck down here. Like that's how it looks on my screen. Like obviously it's not built like that, but that's how it looks to me. And I'm like, how?
Well, when it's connected to the actual Switch,
I think the problem is,
but we just gave props to the Xbox controller being offset. It's the same thing.
That's not my problem. Okay, my problem is let's say we put that in the B,
Okay.
like then the rest of these are gonna be like it's gonna be rough, like a rough one. Like
What?
putting these in tiers. If we
Okay.
put that at B,
Name another controller that has that versatility. It can be used in 8 different ways, and it snaps on and off the console. Nintendo could have been selfish bastards and made you pay for extra controllers by just attaching them, some bitches. But they slide on and off. They have built-in shoulder buttons. They can turn into 2
Okay.
controllers, so you and your friend can play Mario Kart.
I feel like you're trying to sell me on this right now so hard.
Well,
Like you're trying to sell me a controller for the freaking
I'm just
Switch
saying,
right now.
don't like.
Bro, it's freaking on there.
You told me to argue. It's B tier. It's not C tier. It is not
No,
C
it's-
tier.
I did say argue. I did say argue, so I'll give you that.
All right. Well,
Have I
you've
convinced
gotten
you?
you've gotten the believer out of me.
I'd give it the B tier. I don't hate it, so I don't.
I'll give it points for ingenuity.
There we go.
Also,
See, that's what I'm saying. You gotta.
Yeah, that's fair.
You gotta give
I'll
it some
give
flowers.
I'll give it that.
All right. So we had the 360 controller. What about the original Xbox controller?
Probably C, brother.
I was thinking C as well.
I didn't.
Okay.
It's just
I didn't.
It's just fat. It's kind of like the Nintendo 64 controller, like with that little thing in the middle. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, don't get me wrong, I played on that controller a lot.
That was ingenuity.
Putting that thing in the middle?
Back in the day, yeah.
That was some fucked up ingenuity.
It was one of the first controllers to introduce the Joy-Con. Not the Joy-Con, the joystick.
I get that. I get that, but we can't just be giving fucking flowers out to everybody in here.
Like if you look at the controllers from back in the day, that's
That
the
one
best looking one.
That was one of the better ones. I'll give it that. But like
Sega
in
had
this
that one that looks like a spaceship.
In this tier list, though, we have I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's a PS4 controller. There's all kinds of PS2 controllers in there too. Like in this list, it does not belong up there with those.
Oh, we got a little off track. Does everybody agree that the OG Xbox controller is C, or does anybody have an argument for that?
No.
I'm fine with it being a C. That's where I was gonna throw it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we're all probably gonna agree that it's C, mainly because James probably pointed out the best, saying it was just fat.
It's fat.
It's just
fat
too
one.
big. It's just too big.
It might as well have made it a damn circle.
All right, true. Yeah, I just want everybody to get a chance. You know,
Right.
maybe they're partial.
Yeah. My bad. I kind of just went off on a little tangent of the freaking.
He said the name.
He said the thing. He said the thing.
He did the thing.
On the Nintendo 64 controller, I kind of went off there.
All right, well, we can do that one. Yeah. We can do that one next. Where's that going?
See, I feel like
C or B. One of those two.
The Super Nintendo.
I would be okay with a B.
No, 64.
Oh, okay.
Honestly,
the one that looks like a little fucking little 3-prong looking thing. Like, don't get me wrong, it was great for its time, but in this list, it does not belong anywhere up higher, in my opinion.
I'll settle with a B.
A B? It's
settle.
No, it's not B.
I don't.
It's D.
I'd probably
for
say
me.
C.
It's D for me.
C.
It's a.
Bro,
I was gonna give it a C.
All right, bro. Let's throw fucking nostalgia out the window. Okay, let's look at this controller objectively. Who the fuck wants to play with that?
That one is just long, but it's like, never mind.
You know what I mean? Like,
it just looks a little fucked up.
I have to move my entire fucking hand to get to the D-pad. Like that.
That's what your other hand's for.
What am I? I'm not gonna play like this because then all my A and B and Y's are over here. This hand can't move. This hand's got to go back and forth. I mean, just look at it objectively. Would you want to play with that?
I mean,
most games, those did the same exact thing. It was just whichever one you preferred.
It's true. It was ingenuity right there. I'm not gonna lie. You could just be like, which eye or which eye? Play like this.
I think they're at fault of giving us too many options. Either make me play with the D-pad or the analog stick. Don't fucking put a rhino dick in the middle and tell me I can use that as well. You know what I mean? I will go up as far as C tier, but me personally, it's a D tier to me.
I'll give it the C for its nostalgia, but besides that, it was kind of hot dog shit.
Yeah, but but the console itself though, that's OG respect. I love that console.
Yeah. I think like Dalen's fighting back some words here. Dalen, you let her spill, buddy. Let her spill.
I'm waiting to hear Brett because I know I'm not convinced neither of you two. So
Bro, you gotta go for it. Kanan just freaking gave us like a 20-minute speech over the freaking Switch controller and put it in B tier. I was putting that mug in C.
You gotta fight.
Somebody.
I was just mainly gonna put it in C for mainly nostalgia, but also like I mainly just cause fuck, I was just gonna put it in nostalgia. That's it.
dude,
you also hate
it's
it.
like okay, so because it has too many options, it's a bad thing.
Yes.
Is that
Okay.
not just your argument for the Switch?
No, but it didn't give us too many options of how to play with it. Each one had their own purpose. With this controller, hold on.
That makes the controller smaller. It's practically two controllers. Like you have your options. If do you want to use the D-pad or do you want to use the analog stick? Like
Okay, but look,
it's the same thing.
Here's the difference. Hold on. Here's the difference. All right, the Joy-Con, I have different options by flipping a rectangle around, not by ripping and gripping a rhino stick. Okay, that's the difference. If I could flip the controller like this,
if they had that technology back in the day, I'm sure they would do that. But they didn't have that, so that's Earth moving at the time.
I'm looking at it objectively. I'm taking the nostalgia glasses off.
So Dalen, where do you want to put it?
I already said.
Where I didn't hear you. I guess right. I didn't.
I would settle with a B, but that's not happening. So.
All right, now I'm with B. I'm with B.
I'm with C.
I'm with Dalen now. He made a good ass point of you just argued about the freaking Switch controller and its versatility, and then you're saying this one goes in D because of its versatility?
Yes, because you can do versatility bad. You can do it good or bad. If I have a car with a V6 engine, all right, but I hit a switch and it turns into a V8, but it explodes in the process. Oh, you guys have versatility. You can turn it into a V8. You can do things bad. That's versatility done bad. What do you mean? The Joy-Con, I flip it and it turns into a whole nother controller. With this one, there's just an awkward third piece to it that's sticking out. And I can't even sit it in my lap.
The Switch is still awkward too. You might have it like versatility and switch it into a, but that thing is still awkward. It's like this big.
Whatever, man. Whatever, man. If you guys really can't see the fault of having a literal third fucking leg sticking out of your controller, then I don't know. I'm just saying C. That's my final thought. C.
I feel like it should go in B with just like the Switch. I'm saying, I'm with Dalen. He brought up a really good point there. Brett.
I've said my piece.
Yeah. We all. It's just you, man. It's just you. Where would you put it?
I'm not gonna have much of an argument because, like I said, I'm just gonna put it.
Who do you agree with? Just put it that way.
Out of all this argument, it'll be the deciding. It'll basically be the deciding factor.
Oh,
Next, if not, we have a tie, and then we have a problem.
Be opinionated. That is literally all this is. What this is all about. Just have an opinion right here. Let her rip.
Beyblade.
Let her rip.
I really agree with both sides. I see where Kanan's coming from, saying like, yeah, obviously, like with most controllers nowadays, we have like these two handles right here. We don't have like a third right here for like an analog or anything. But with how Dalen explained it, saying like there's versatility along with that, I was like, okay, cool. Plus the trigger is right there in the middle. And the one thing I can remember for most games that were on the 64, everyone loved playing at the time was GoldenEye. It was like just having that little 4 split screen with your friends and just killing each other while you're at your friend's house.
So where would you put it? Like, you're giving me a lot here. You're giving me a lot here.
B tier.
Yo!
Thank you. I made some believers today.
Yeah.
I made some believers today of the rhino penis.
You folded, dude. That's crazy, man. He literally just said B because he didn't want to argue no more.
Well,
it's okay, bro. I know what you meant. It's okay. It's okay.
If he would have said C, I would have left it at C.
Yeah, we would have been okay.
Right. I would have been okay with a tie knowing morally it should have been higher. But
Morally.
it's just underrated. It is what it is.
All right, just for the
Okay.
record, one last statement on it. Versatility can be done wrong. And that's all I'm saying. Next controller. That's all I'm saying.
All right. How do y'all feel about the GameCube?
It's okay.
Hey.
I didn't really like it that much. I'll be honest.
See,
I thought it was okay.
I grew up on that controller, but
Same.
like, you know, keeping the nostalgia out of this, like, I think it's at least A tier, like personally.
I think it honestly looks kind of similar to an Xbox controller. Not the OG one, not that fat fucker, but freaking the 360. Like it's not, no, don't get me wrong, it is not anywhere close to as good as the 360, but I feel like it's got that like kind of look to it. Like it's almost kind of like symmetric, and then it had like offset like the little pads.
Yeah.
Even though that little freaking yellow C one, I probably used that like 4 times in the 10 years I played on the freaking GameCube.
Yeah,
It never got used really.
My only gripe
Yeah.
with this controller is that the joysticks were plastic, right? Because I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
like, you know, I always just liked because at the time the OG Xbox and the PS2 was out, and I always preferred those because the joysticks were rubber, so they'd stick to my fingers more. But you could argue that the GameCube controller actually like influenced the 360 controller, because at the time the OG Xbox controller was out, and it almost looks like they copied them but did it better. Like that's my only beef with the controller. I think it's a good controller.
I think it's a great controller. Like, and my only problem I had with it was I hated the bumpers, bro. Or not the bumpers, but like the triggers. They were like you had to mash them hoes in there, bro.
Yeah, because they went in, right, like a piston.
Yeah.
Instead of like a trigger, like a concave shape.
It wasn't like a trigger. It was like it was like a whole button that you pushed in like on the sides.
Yeah, it was
And
like okay.
You had to push that mug far too. I felt like my remembrance is like you really had to hit that thing.
They were not sensitive whatsoever.
I'm fine with A tier. I think there's an argument to be made for A tier.
Like they were good, but they could have been better.
Right. Like I really do think they just took the OG Xbox's design, copied it, and made it a little better. That's really what I think.
They made it better, yeah. That's why I think like
I can see it.
The 360 is like a better version of the GameCube controller, like the 360 controller.
Yeah, you can see the evolution just straight up in the line right there, really.
Yeah, they just made it connect in the middle.
Yeah.
All right, everybody good with A?
Yeah.
My blood pressure didn't have to go up. I start twitching.
I don't know if there's any in here that like I would actually argue with. Maybe one, but I don't think y'all would disagree with me.
Are there 2 PlayStation 1 controllers in there? Or what the fuck is that?
This
No,
one.
that's that one the mouse is on right now. That was for the 3, I believe.
Yeah, that's the 3. And then the one in the middle that's black is the DualShock 2. Then the one
what's that one?
That is the OG one. And then like I think like 8 months after the PS1's release, they released the first DualShock.
So that's what that one that the mouse is on now, right?
Yeah, that's the DualShock one. Yeah, that was like their pro controller for the PlayStation 1.
Yeah. Okay, so that was, and then DualShock became just a normal thing then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think the 3 kind of sucked. I'm not gonna lie.
PlayStation 3.
Yeah. It was odd.
See, like I feel like it was too skinny. Like there wasn't enough to hold on to. Like, because like I mean I came from the 360 and the 360 was more like bulkier.
I also just think that everything about the PS3 just blew. It was just bad. Controller included.
I didn't have one, so
I didn't own one either, so that might be part of my thing. But I didn't know anybody that really like had one and played on it consistently. Everybody had a 360 at that time.
Yeah.
Nobody switched to like PlayStation. They went from PS2, 360, and then PS4. That's what like everybody went.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it is.
Yeah, exactly how it went.
Yeah.
I would put it in mid. It'd be mid. It's a mid controller to me. Like I can work with it, but my big beef is with the triggers. The triggers are too small.
Yeah.
I would probably put the 3, in my opinion, I put it as C. That's just me.
I wouldn't be mad at that. Like it's a mid controller. I mean, really.
Yeah.
It's a DualShock 2 with a rumble pack in it, really, and they cut off the triggers for some reason.
So does that mean 2 goes in C as well then, or do you put it higher? I thought the 2 was okay, but also
I
I don't know.
think I
The
think
PlayStation
I think the
2,
PlayStation 2 is B, and I have no
PlayStation 2 is
argument.
B.
I have no argument for that. I just
Uh,
want it to be in B.
you just want it in B.
I could see. I don't know what the like. I don't really know how much difference there was between it and the 3.
Only thing I could tell was it was wireless.
The 3 was wireless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably put that mug in C in too.
Yeah.
I played a lot on the 2, so I didn't hate it,
Yeah.
but I didn't necessarily like it either.
I don't think it's a bad controller though. You know,
No,
I
No.
don't.
I mean
It's not a bad controller.
the 3 wasn't a bad controller either.
Yeah.
This is tough.
I feel like they were both mid. Just one was wired, one wasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very true, very true. I will say though, I did like the 3 thumbstick better because they had the concave shape with the circle around
Oh,
it, so your
yeah.
thumb would catch.
Yeah.
I didn't like that
Okay,
about the
yeah.
PS2.
Yeah. I did like
PS2
that.
PS2 you had to wear down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really did. You had to
Yeah.
break it in. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm good with C. That's fine.
So, do we want to see about putting like the Wii remotes at A tier probably?
Whoa.
Or B tier?
The nunchuck and the
Whoa.
I don't.
Brother.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna
See-
lie. You could convince me.
Convince. I want to hear this, Brett. I want to hear this.
You could
I
convince me.
need to hear this. Tell me
So-
why this goes in A.
So mainly, there's a lot of great games that came out. Obviously, mainly everyone kept playing was probably Wii U Sports, mainly for the boxing, or possibly the golf.
bowling, but
Bowling was
um,
legit.
Yeah, bowling too. Bowling.
I'll let you make your point.
But no, I feel like it should go in A, mainly because obviously I don't know. I was just trying to see if I can get an argument started out of someone.
Bro, say what your chest, son. Say what your chest. Why is it? Why? Is it just because of the boxing, bro? I'm not gonna lie, the boxing was pretty fun. I feel like it was a little
yeah.
off though. Like whenever I'd be boxing, I'd be like, "No, dude, I know I knocked that motherfucker out." Okay, like my right hook connected, but in the game, that dude was like, "No, bro, I missed." And like, "Nah, bro, cap, okay," because I know damn well I broke my TV. So you know,
Yeah, wear your
so if I
straps,
broke my
kids.
TV, I know I knocked that motherfucker out. Okay. But nope, the game was like, you lost. So I feel like it's like, it was a great design, and it was kind of like ahead of its time, but like, they kind of failed with it. Like, it's like scanning was rough. Like, it working properly was rough, in my opinion. I would be like, I'd be putting, I'd be hitting that, or golfing. I guess it wasn't putt, it was like regular, but I might as well have been playing putt. And I'd be like hitting that mug, and then all of a sudden, I don't know how, but it just died. I'd send a rocket out into the trees, brother. Like I was like, I didn't even hit it swing that hard. Come on.
Yeah, no, the wrist straps probably killed it, or didn't really help, or it's not going to help my case any. If I was going to try to say A tier, because almost every time you try to play, you had to either strap that or get it locked on to your wrist. That way you could play, or just risk losing.
You got to strap on every time you play, bro. It's crazy.
Hey.
I don't necessarily think that putting the straps on was that big of a deal, and also it wasn't that hard to hold on to it if you were just a freaking idiot. If you weren't just freaking slinging that thing. Most of the games didn't require that much. I just think that it's like, its detection was rough, but also, I could see it in B maybe. It was like for its ingenuity. If we put in freaking Switch there.
Wow, dude, I still can't believe you're on that Switch argument, man. I completely let go of your Rhino controller, and you're bringing up the Switch. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm gonna play devil's advocate for the Wii here. All right, all right. Think about it. We've had how many motion controllers have we had? We've had 3, right? The Wii, the PlayStation Move, and the Kinect, right? Or am I missing one?
Like the Xbox Connect or whatever. But it wasn't the Xbox Connect, like it was just you. Like you just stood in front of it.
Right, but it's same principle, tracking, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you could argue out of those 3, 2 of which came 2 years later, the Wii was the best solution to that problem. And it
I think the
still
Wii
is.
was best out of those, out of like the Kinect and like the other thing, whatever the little freaking vibrator thing that PlayStation had.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
PlayStation Move.
PlayStation controller was ass.
It looked straight up like a vibrator. I'm not gonna lie. Okay.
Right. So there's an argument to be made that in
Yeah,
its
that's why it's the only
category,
one on. That's why it's the only one on this list.
in its
That's why
weight
no.
class, it was the best. In its weight class, it was the best.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it was ahead of its time. I think that they struggled with some of its things, like its detection was rough because you had that little strip that was it just kind of sucked at times. But at its time, it was good.
Hey, look.
I could see it being put in B.
Hey, look.
That's all I'm saying.
All right. So for being the best motion controller that has come out, and your only quarrel with it is it had a little bit of connectivity issues because of technology at the time. I don't know how you can argue. I don't know how you can argue and put it down to B. It was the best controller in its weight class, and
I
it
don't
was
think
only
it's
limited by
equal.
the technology.
Because I don't think it's equal to the greatness of that GameCube controller right there.
James, take off your nostalgia glasses. Take off your nostalgia glasses. Take them off. Okay.
A B.
It's the best controller of its weight class, of its category. It's the best one to ever come out, and it came out 2 years earlier before the competition. It was still the best.
What year did the Wii come out with that?
I want to say 2007, but we can fact check.
Yeah, I'm gonna Google that real quick.
So my argument about it is, I agree with it being A tier.
Thank you.
Because it's a great design. It worked for what it was supposed to, and
sorry.
And it just kind of like the GameCube controller. It's awesome. It had a few things to work on, but I mean, like nothing that made it like not usable.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you. That's what I was about to say. It came out in November.
Oh,
what was that?
It was TikTok.
Oh gosh.
I was trying to open up Discord on my phone to see what was sent.
It was Brett saying 2006. That was when the Wii came out. It came out in November 19, 2006.
Right. So I mean I think that sorry to cut you off, Brett, but I think that strengthened this argument because the Move came out in 2009, the Kinect came out in 2010. It came out 3 years before its competitor, and it's still the best in its category.
Best. Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that. Okay. I'll give it A. I'll give it A. I can see it. I can see it.
Let's go. We made a believer.
Switch still fucking sucks.
Okay. So I'm about to make a bold claim here.
Oh.
All right. So which one? What is it?
So we all came to the conclusion that the normal Joy-Cons for the Switch were B tier, right?
No.
Well, I mean,
majority.
It landed there.
It landed there, sadly.
Okay, so here's my argument. The actual controller for the Switch,
A tier.
A tier, because it took a great innovative controller and it improved it into an actual controller.
Yeah, if we're gonna put
because I feel like that's improvement. Regardless.
Yeah, they improved it, and it goes A.
Because they took
it's better.
Yeah, they took the good parts of the controller and they made it a full size controller.
Is there anything special about because I've never used one, so I don't know. Is there anything special about this controller, or is it just from what I'm seeing? My first thought was that's an Xbox One ripoff. So is there anything actually special in it, you know what I mean, that interacts with the Switch or anything like that?
Other than solely being a Switch controller?
Well, I mean,
that's all it is really.
So it's an Xbox One ripoff.
So it's a Switch controller.
Right. So okay. So is no one else seeing am I tripping? Is no one else seeing the similarities? It just looks like an Xbox One controller.
But an Xbox One controller on here?
Yeah, there is. It's at the end of the list.
This one.
Am I tripping, or is that just an Xbox One controller? I've never used it, so I don't know.
It's not necessarily a ripoff. It's definitely one of its own things. You'd have to actually look at it.
I could see similarities.
Yeah.
I mean, you can only do so many things with the shape of a controller that similarities are bound to happen.
I mean,
Because like
yeah.
I feel like at this point we've got the idea of what a controller is supposed to look like. So
Right.
like I can see your argument there, but my thing is it's I feel like it's more round, like just the shape of it. Like again, you can only do so much with a controller without ripping off one of the two styles that Sony and Windows makes.
Oh, how yeah,
I
because Microsoft.
Yeah.
I was like, where's he going with this? PC doesn't have a controller. I mean,
Yeah.
I
I
I'm with
guess.
Dalen.
I mean, I don't really have an argument to bring it down because I never used it. But to me, it just seems like it, like you know how like Mad Cats would come out with PlayStation 2 copycats. You know, I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
that'd be the same thing as being like, oh well, this Mad Cat's controller, it. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like a rip
I
off.
think
But
you'd have to like use it. It does have looks similarity, but I think it like using one or like holding it, you wouldn't think that.
okay, I mean that's fine.
Plus,
That's fine. Obviously, like I said, I've never held one. I never held one.
That's just me. But
plus, like this doesn't actually have to do with any of the functionality of the controller. Like, it's the only controller that like I've actually seen that you can like you can find like themed controllers just by themselves with, because like you can get like Xbox Special Edition controllers or whatever, but they just have like they have like Mario themed controllers, like Pokemon themed controllers that you can just find anywhere, like actually licensed controllers. Like how this one is I don't know the game. It's Smash, right?
Yeah,
That
that's Smash.
yeah, they're all themed like that pretty much. And I think they have like the scuff like buttons on the back you can
Oh,
program.
oh, do those come in by default?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
So you don't have to buy like a special pro edition. They're just on there.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay,
I
then
think
yeah, that's
so.
easy A tier. You should have led with that. That's easy A tier. That's
I
easy,
just remembered honestly.
dude. Because with like Sony and like Xbox, you have to pay like an extra $100 for that. But if Switch is just out here giving it out for free, fuck yeah, that's innovative. Yeah, that's A tier, absolutely.
All right, all right. I felt like that was gonna be a lot more of a heated discussion.
Nah, that's a fucking. You give me paddles for free, hell yeah, it's an A tier.
All right, which one we doing next?
Okay, all right. Let's get the NES one out the way. Where are we putting it? No, it'd be the classic looking Mario controller in the middle. Yeah, that one, the original NES controller. I want to say it was very innovative for its time. It was one of the first controllers to move away from just a single joystick and two buttons. It was one of the first controllers to move to just the D-pad, and it's very usable, I think.
Yeah, it's simple in a good way. Like I mean, it's got everything you need on the controller. Like there's nothing crazy. Like
I'm going C.
C tier.
C.
I mean, brother, I don't want to have the nostalgia glasses on, but for the games,
You do.
it was okay. Look
You
for the game. Let me fucking finish first of all, buddy. You need to calm the fuck down. That's what you sound like. Anyways, for the games that were made and it was made to play for, like, what's wrong with it? Tell me what's wrong with it for the games that it was made for. It was made for a certain type of arcadey game, and it did its job very well. Better than the joystick and the two buttons at the time. You know?
I'm not gonna lie, I liked the joystick and the two buttons, bro. Like that was nostalgic as well though, but it worked for it as well back then. Like those joystick and the two buttons worked for the games back then as well. So
Right, but with Nintendo coming out with this controller, it opened up game development studios to a whole other world that they could make for instead of just these simple move left to right across the screen.
the joystick you could move like up, down, like you could move around.
Okay, so like we got away from Galaga and got into stuff like Super Mario Bros. And which ended up leading into like stuff like Super Mario World where it finally became 3D. Like this controller did nothing bad for its time. Like it played every game it was supposed to play, and it played it well.
I mean,
I can't really disagree, but like I feel like the point though, like that you're making, if it did it well, I mean the joystick did it well as well. So Like it didn't do it bad. So
Right, but at the time, if you had the option of playing Super Mario Bros. With that or a big ass joystick and 2 buttons, which one would you pick?
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I could fucking move around with that joystick, brother. I forget what, you know what I'm saying? I was pretty good. I was pretty clean with it. But I don't know. I wouldn't say I'd pick one or the other over each other. If somebody handed me one, I'd play with it. That was how I was as a kid.
That is
Don't
true.
really have like
Bringing that.
I don't really have like one that I'd be like, oh yeah, give me that one. I don't know. Where would you say you'd put it?
Me personally,
Don't you dare say what I think you're gonna say.
it's an A tier.
Ice.
Bro, that's
How
an
do I
A tier
leave?
controller.
How do I leave this? How do I leave this? Get me out of here.
Bro,
Yeah,
and it was one of the first controllers that was actually handheld. With most of those joysticks, you had to either hold from underneath with both hands, like this.
Okay. That's the best point you've brought up so far.
It was the
That is
first
the best.
controller to bring the classic controller look to it.
That is the best point you've brought up so far of all of that. I'll give it to you for that.
Let's go, I'm making
Because
believers.
I'd still probably at best put it at B. I had C, but
that's where I was sitting was B because it's good. I mean, there are better controllers. I do agree with you. It's amazing for what it had at the time, but compared to like what we have now, like I'm not saying it's a bad controller. I'm just saying it's a mid controller.
I'd give it
And
B.
the Prestige itself keeps it at a C for me.
Wait, you're saying this is a C tier controller?
No, I said it's a B tier controller because it's mid, but due to the prestige of the controller itself, it keeps it out of C.
It keeps it out of being a C.
Yeah,
That's what he's saying.
Man, I don't know. You
Yeah,
guys,
like you got me to B from C, but you can't get me to A.
I'm just not seeing the rationale behind putting one of the most revolutionary controllers for its time. The one that literally shifted arcade gaming as we know it, and you guys are gonna say mid controller. That's like saying
to what we have now. Yes,
I was about to say we're comparing this to like a PS4 controller. That's what this list is doing.
Would you ever play a PS4 game with that controller? No, you wouldn't. Like, what are you talking about here? That's like saying, yeah, that truck's mid. It doesn't run 10s in the quarter mile. Well, yeah, no shit. But the drag car can't haul 30,000 pounds either.
I'm not gonna lie. I still be playing old like GameCube games with my PS4 controller on my computer.
Okay, well that PS4 controller is a hell of a lot closer to that GameCube controller than a DualShock 4 is to the NES controller. Like, what are y'all talking about? That's like if there was a joystick and 2 buttons on there, you guys would say, "Oh, it's trash. Can't play Elden Ring with that compared to what we have today." That's a fallacy, dude.
I'm just saying, if I could plug it into my PC, I still wouldn't. Okay.
Nah.
I'm putting it B, and I'm putting my fist down. That's B.
Brett, what say you? Brett, you have anything to add? Help me.
I'm saying A, just because like it helped gave everybody like the idea of pretty much piggybacking off of what Kanan said, pretty much just help revolutionizing like the handheld controllers and everything. Yes, limited. There are going to be the D-pad and start, select, and then the 2 buttons. But at the time, it was big. It was groundbreaking. Like, what do you mean?
Show some fucking respect, honestly. You guys got. Oh my god. All right. It's in B then. It's in B.
I was listening.
No, we're good. Every old controller, I'm gonna say mid now because DualShock. We have DualShock now, so every old controller's mid. Y'all go ahead.
This fucking.
No, go ahead. Every one of these controllers is mid except the Xbox One. Xbox One's S tier because it's it's new.
I'd probably put it in B. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, we have it now, so obviously it's S tier.
I don't know about that one.
Dang, isn't it crazy when I use trash arguments? Like, really?
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, guys. That was a trash argument. Compared to what we have now, it's mid. Okay, then half of these controllers are mid. Just saying.
So you're saying, okay, you put the PS3 controller down there in C, but you wanted to put that at A? I'm just saying that, like,
I guess
controller
now.
to controller.
Well, I guess now.
Controller to controller compare.
Yeah, because it didn't do anything for video gaming. It didn't do anything for the time frame. But if we're going off your guys' argument, it should be an ARS because it's more closely to what we have today.
No.
No, whatever. We can keep the little controller at B. It's whatever.
I think you're reading into this all wrong, my boy.
That's literally what you guys said. It's mid compared to what we have today. That's word for word what you guys said.
The only thing that you had to argue for it was that it was a revolutionary for its time.
Yes, for what it was built for in the time frame. You can't penalize it because it wasn't built in the present.
I mean, we didn't penalize the GameCube controller.
Crazy, and that's the one that you two over there on the left love. I'm just saying. We didn't penalize the GameCube controller 20 minutes earlier. That was my childhood, bro. That was my childhood.
I'm just saying it wasn't that special of a controller.
But it's still in.
I didn't enjoy it that much. I didn't think it was like that big of a change. Yes, cool. I said I gave it a B from C because it's handheld now compared to like the little freaking that and freaking like. But I wouldn't give it an A because it didn't make that big of a difference. You said it revolutionized or whatever. The fucking
it literally
game, like controller.
how we hold the controller right now. Before this, controllers weren't held like this. Before that controller, we didn't hold controllers like this.
It was more of held like a phone, like
held them like
sideways.
this.
It was more of how it was held.
You held it like this. Like this. Pretend like this back part's not. You held it like this. Before the NES controller, you held every controller like this. I'm just saying.
Okay. So, you're telling me if I was to give you the game Super Mario Brothers with any controller you'd ever want to, like, any controller you could ever possibly want to use, you would go immediately to that one? Out of any controller?
Out of any controller ever, would I go to that one?
Yeah.
No, because I live in the present where better controllers have been made.
That's our argument.
But, oh my gosh, look, you can't do, okay, that's like saying a car from the 70s fucking sucks because of its gas mileage because it was limited by the engines of its time.
I mean, you can fix a car.
Yeah, you can't really do much to that controller. It is what it is.
Oh my gosh, whatever, guys, whatever. Anything
we
that's
gave it B.
anything that's new is
from
S
C.
tier. Anything that's new is S tier, I guess.
Oh. This guy's like the kid at the freaking playground that didn't get his freaking the swing, okay, and he's going to cry to the teacher. No, Mom, I can't do that.
Hey, first of all, I haven't cried to Brett one time. I asked him if he had anything to say, but I didn't cry to Brett one time, okay? I stood on my own 2 feet here, all right? You guys are penalizing the controller because it was made in the past. It is what it is, all right? It is what it is.
I mean, technically, they're all.
And you're like giving it like all its grace just because it went from a stick to a freaking to your hand. Like I'm not saying that gives it an A because of that, but I gave it up one more from where I originally put it at C.
My only argument about it is yes, it's a great controller, but compared to what like the history it has to like back up it being great does not overshadow the functionality of said controller itself. Like I'm not saying it's not groundbreaking. But if you were to use it on any console now, it would not work. So I feel like it's a perfect spot to sit in the middle.
I don't disagree with Dalen's argument either, though. Like, okay, so it's a great controller.
Like I was on the fence between A and B. The only thing I had was I would not use that controller over any of the other ones available.
And this is a tier list of all controllers. This isn't just, we don't give it A just because it was groundbreaking back then, do we? I mean, I don't really know how. I guess it's all preference.
Like, I was literally sitting on the fence of it. I would have moved it up to A if Brett would have just been like, hey, I agree. I 100% think it should be an A tier. But now that we're arguing about it, fuck it, it's at B.
Yeah, we're saying a B now. Kanan doesn't get his way.
Oh my god, every single argument you guys have is a fallacy, bro. You guys are saying that you would not use it over any other controller you have today. So it's because of its functionality, it has to be B. Like, let's say a NASCAR in 1969 won the World Cup. You're going to say it's a mid car because a car from today could fucking smoke its asshole. Like, it makes no sense.
In reference today, yeah, that would make sense.
It makes no sense.
Before, it was great. Now it's mid.
You guys see how that doesn't make sense.
No, that makes sense to me, but you guys are literally penalizing it because of when it was made. There's nothing that the controller could have done better to improve itself. That is what they had at the time.
it didn't
Okay,
have
Brett.
much of a competition at that time.
Brett, do you understand the argument we're making?
It literally had a whole industry to go against at the time. What are you talking about?
All it had was a few different joysticks.
Yeah, that dominated the entire industry. What are you
Yeah, they made
talking
a huge.
about?
It made a huge difference, and I said because it was handheld, I gave it because it's not that special of a controller. Of its time, yes, it was great. I gave it B.
It's not that special of a control. It would. There's no more that could be said. It's B tier apparently. Brett, do you have any argument for why it might be A tier? I've spoke my piece. I can't with these guys. Their whole argument can be simplified to it's not new, it's mid.
I also said it didn't make that, but you're taking like all wrong. But okay, that's all you got out of it.
That's all you guys have said for the past 10 minutes.
I said it didn't make that big of a difference from a joystick to this. It wasn't that big of a difference. It didn't make that much of a change. For what you're saying. You're saying that this controller damn near freaking should be held by God at that time.
Well, no, I'm not saying it's that high regard. I'm not saying it's S tier. I'm not saying it's God tier. But I'm saying the way you hold your PlayStation 4 controller right now is because of this controller's design. And tell me that's not that great of an impact. That's something
I don't hold my PS4 controller the same way I held the freaking GameCube controller.
Well, yeah, because they have different shapes, but I'm saying the general idea of holding a controller upright with two hands like this, with both your fingers doing something at the same time on the same plane, that was started with that controller. But that's not big of an impact? Like, what does it have to do?
I mean, to be fair, I feel like we're going to get there eventually anyway.
Like, we kind of used two hands with, like, the joystick. It had a button. They had buttons sometimes on it, and you would have to press them, like, down here on the block part, and then the button at the top, too. It was almost like you were doing three things. You were turning, hitting a button, and hitting another button. Now, it wasn't very functional, I will say,
right,
compared to...
But it had to be put on the ground, because something had to act as its base. With this, it's fully held in your hands. No one ever held a joystick controller like this. Because if they did, they'd have to take their hand off the joystick to hit the button.
Well, you held it like that, and then you used your thumb with the buttons, and then you held the other part with like that. I've literally used one like that before.
That's a good point, but it's nowhere near this. It's not. This.
It wasn't. No. That's what I'm saying. Like that was a huge change, yes, and it greatly improved things. But I don't think that the controller is that great as the controller. That was a huge jump, yes, but not A tier in my opinion. That's just like I said. This is all opinionated anyway. Somebody could put that at fucking D if they wanted.
All right, well, I will die on this hill. It's gonna be A. You're not changing my mind, Brett. Just
we
the
tiebreaker. Yeah, we asked Brett, and Brett hasn't said anything. Brett, you got get up in here.
No, because every time I was getting ready to say something, you and Kanan would go off on another point, and I'm just like, okay.
You just got to interrupt us.
You really do just got to interrupt us. You just got to speak up. You can't be overtalked. Yeah.
No, I'm just hearing Kanan's argument through my headphones, and I'm hearing it loud as possible, and I'm like, well, guess I gotta let my family know I'm getting ready to move out tomorrow.
Shit.
Like, well, I'm getting kicked out.
What are you talking?
I know.
I'm arguing for a controller, Brett. Nothing is personal here.
Yeah,
just tomorrow. Get the fuck out of my house.
Why? We're still gonna hop on some Rocket League, probably.
Yeah, really. I mean, it wouldn't be a fun video if we all went A tier. A tier, yes. B tier.
A tier.
You know what I mean?
Like this is good. Like this is good stuff right here. I mean, yeah. It just means that everybody's opinionated. And if you have the same opinion as everybody else, then we're all just robots. Brett, just make a decision right here. You need to put it.
Bro, I'm going to cut a lot of that out. Holy shit.
A tier, mainly just because like I don't want no big bulky lunchbox in my hand. I want two-hand controller, easy to control, something that's easy for me to push the buttons and the diagonal.
All right, it's A. All right, we'll put it A. Holy. Holy.
Brett got real aggravated after that.
Fucking... Good. That's what we need, Brett.
Brett, Brett, I'm not gonna lie. If I had you earlier in that fight, we could have won about 10 minutes ago.
This might have been done. Yeah, this might have been done already.
I was trying to 1v2.
Okay, so
holy
I don't know how much of a hot take this one's gonna be, but
what is that one?
What, is that like a
It's
plugged
a
in
360 controller with the wire.
Oh yeah,
belongs
You know
there.
how often
Yeah.
those little pieces that for some reason came apart? You know how often I lost those things?
yeah.
Like
Belongs.
that by itself took it from an S tier controller to a D.
Yep.
If we had a lower tier, I would drop it down even more.
And not to
Well,
mention
that's-
the
that's-
proprietary connector.
Yeah, like
And that went to the 360, right? Didn't the 360 barely have like it had like 2 slots? I think it had
Yeah.
like 2
Yeah.
spots because most everybody had a wireless one for it.
Mhm.
yeah, because like I mean, the 360 itself, it came with the wireless controller.
Yeah. So
It was
like
one
if
of-
you had, I remember if somebody handed me a wired controller for a 360, I'd almost looked at like I was like it was disrespectful.
Yeah,
I know damn well you could have had 2 of them mugs. Come on, why you handing me a wired one? Now I got to stand set close to this thing so I can play.
yeah, and then like I mean, they had the extenders, but they weren't worth it either. Like
They were not that great.
because you couldn't ever find just the ends that you had to plug in. You had to buy a whole new controller.
And try to sync it up and everything.
Well, I mean, you didn't have to sync it if it was a wired, but I
Well,
know what you mean.
I meant like to get into the new controller and everything for the 360. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was trash.
It
Nobody's
was-
disagreeing with you.
yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was bad. It was bad.
Okay, so
Is that the Xbox One or which one are we going to?
This one's the one.
All right, can we put the Xbox One in B then? Because I'm not gonna lie, Kanan's a blast point. It at least goes in B. It'll put that freaking revolutionary fucking controller ahead of it. Or are we putting the Xbox One in fucking A? Somebody.
I mean, I have no personal
I-
connection to the one.
I don't know why you're
Like-
making such a big deal. I said it was a mid controller from the start. I don't know why you're trying to throw shots or something. I don't know if that was, but it's a mid controller. I don't know.
Like
one?
I would be okay with it being in B. Like it's
You're saying the one
I-
is a mid controller, right?
Yeah, the one's a mid controller.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, I'm agreeing with that.
I
I'm
could
just throwing
see
shots at you because I can.
I don't know why you're trying to throw shots. I don't know. He had to throw in the
'cause-
revolutionary.
I could-
Yeah, because the fucking square box was a revolutionary controller that went from this to this. We're not going back over that. Okay, yeah, it goes in B for me.
all right, that good with everybody. I thought the 360 controller was better. That's all I was trying to say.
Wait, but
I agree.
wait, I don't have any arguments, but like, I like if somebody asked me like why it was better, I can't necessarily tell them why, but it just was. Like, you guys can you guys put a finger on that?
It's
I
just
think they
because I
changed
grew.
the shape a little.
Yeah, I grew up with the 360, so it's just more like if they were to give me a 360 controller and a one, I would be naturally more drawn to the 360 just because I'm more comfortable with it. I don't have a personal connection to the one.
I think I've held the one and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think the front of the controller it's like front heavy. Like the front of it has more weight. Like you could tip it really easy. Like if it's sitting on a desk, like you would set a controller on a desk and you like tilt it up the back of it, it'll just like flip forward. I feel like it's front heavy.
I'm sure there's more. Was there really any like ingenuity like from other than the frame of the controller itself from the 360 to the one?
The middle
I'll-
part of it is comes down further.
Yeah, it's like a
There's
little
not as much of
flatter,
a
too.
there's not as much of it like that like arc in it or like arch.
And also, I will say, I really don't like this controller because it was the start of when the start and select button got taken away from us. Because if you remember on the 360, it was still the classic 2 arrows that focused that way. And then when Xbox One came out, it changed to the 3 lines and the boxes overlapping each other. I think that's why I have like a personal beef with that controller.
Yeah,
I
I'm not a big fan of it.
I swear the weight of that controller is off. I'm just saying.
I don't think I've
That's
ever held
fine.
one long enough.
I didn't really like how it was designed. From the 360, the 360 felt more like you can actually grip and it's not gonna go anywhere unless like you fucking throw it. But the one, it felt like it was a little bit of a smooth texture and like it would just easily like fall out if someone was just to hit your hand with it, just like a slight bump and that controller's out of your hand. The 360, someone bumps you, you still have the controller in your hands.
Just got like a better grip on it. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good
I got
point.
you.
Like, doesn't
I
your
got you.
fingers go in deeper with the 360? Because the back
Mhm.
part of it's more like, it's not more round, but it has a thin part and then it rounds out to fit in that.
Well, then
customer
also-
hand.
It's
Kinda
got that.
like a channel. on the
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
It's because it's got like that little like indentation for the batteries, and your fingers just
Yeah.
kind of like
Yes.
fit in there.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like honestly, like Brett makes a really good point. And then I think the one they like took that away kind of, and it's
Trying
just
to
kind
make
of
it
like
all like a more smooth, like since there's not a
yeah,
battery pack there anymore.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like since they
That's
went
what
to the wireless controllers completely.
I think so. I think yeah. So I'm not gonna lie, like Brett makes a huge point right there.
It does fit better in
Like
the
Yeah.
hands.
that's valid.
I
So
made
we're agreeing with-
believers.
I just needed to know. I just needed to get some explanation from it because I personally always like the 360 better. I just never really thought about why.
So I said B. I don't know if it belongs in B or because of what.
I'm
probably say
fine.
C.
Okay.
Oh,
Like
who
I'm on the
says C?
fence on it. Like I'm about right here.
I know it wouldn't go higher, so
Yeah.
I'm fine with C too.
Yeah, honestly, I'm fine with either C or B. If it went in B, I would put it at the end of B tier. I'd put it
Yeah.
behind Joy-Con and
Low-
Rhino Dick.
Low B, high C area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I'd probably. So we saying the Xbox like original Xbox controller is better than that one?
Oh fuck!
would-
Hold on.
Mm.
wait.
Ooh. Ooh.
Why'd you have to say something?
Because now it's in that same C list.
Wait.
Is what I'm saying.
Let's rearrange the tiers at the end when we get them all on the board. How about
Oh,
that?
okay.
Okay.
That'll be our closing arguments.
Move things where we need, or where, like now that they're actually all together.
Yeah.
All right.
Hmm.
So based off my argument with the the one we had earlier, the functionality, I feel like
Yeah, it's trash.
Yeah.
It's trash. It's
compared to what we have now, like night and day.
and
Like,
even compared to what they had 6 months later, because they had that one
Yeah.
on the left about 6 months later, and that's I could see your argument on that one because they were literally 6 months away from having joysticks. Give me the joysticks.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's easy.
I don't even know why they didn't put joysticks. It's kind of dumb. You're telling me a
Oh.
GameCube had some joysticks, but you couldn't put one on there?
Yeah, it's,
It might have just been one of those things where, like, you know, like new inventions cause like cold feet sometimes. Like you could do something, introduce something amazing, and then like if no one cares about it, it's kind of a flop.
Yeah, like the controller that was revolutionary could have been a flop, and everybody could have been like, "No, we want our fucking joystick. Just that one little Atari stick is what we want. We're not switching to this." No, but it didn't go that way.
I'm kind of surprised the Atari stick's not on here, honestly.
S.
oh no! Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now.
We can't. It's not on here. It's not on here. We can't do that.
So, with that one being said,
Yeah,
C
Yeah,
or B?
I'd put it C.
I'd put it C definitely behind the PS2. I think the PS2 is a slight improvement.
Yeah.
Besides the
It's
joysticks.
they're almost identical though. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Yeah.
that gray one for the PS1 or whatever, then to the PS2, they're not that big of a difference in my opinion.
Yeah, they took a decent design for the time, they improved it.
And then they made it
then-
black.
Yeah,
Hey, but the two, I think the two, I think I misspoke earlier. I believe the two actually was the first one with rumble packs because I remember playing San Andreas with the PS2 controller and it did have the rumble pack. So I mean that was cool. That was cool for its time. You know, it made you feel more immersed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It still
Oh,
belongs
boy.
where it's at.
Oh, it still belongs to C tier, 100%.
boys, we got some doozies left.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. These last four, you could throw them all in D, and I wouldn't care.
See, like, I feel like this one
Okay, that one was pretty good.
deserves at least C tier. Like,
What did that
like,
go to
I
again?
was gonna push it to even B tier.
What did that go
it's
to again?
Super Nintendo, isn't it?
I believe so.
Is it?
Nintendo.
Like I will
Jesus, are you
argue. Like
Sorry,
I'm
my
good.
dog just smacked her head on my desk hard.
Jeez.
I had to check on her. I had to.
You're good.
like I'll settle for C tier, but like I'd be more than happy for it to be in B because like
I'm not mad at either one of those. I didn't know what that went to exactly at first. It's been so long.
yeah, that's the Nintendo controller I grew up on. Like my grandma had a Super Nintendo, and that's all I ever played when I was over there.
I didn't play it much, so my nostalgia, like I'm gonna argue for this, isn't really there. So
So it's It's essentially just a rounder version of this, and it had
Yeah.
like bumpers on top. That was it.
Yeah, and
So
you had
yeah,
a couple
was that like the
buttons.
first controller with bumpers?
I don't know,
Um,
actually. That's a good question.
Just
I-
saying. So like
one
bumpers
of
are
the
a big
first.
thing now.
Oh, and it also came with another set of buttons on top, so they had 4.
I was like,
Like
I don't know.
whereas this one had 2, this one had 2 sets of like there's
Oh,
another
okay.
one supposed to be over here. It's cut off on the picture.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah. Be happy with B. I'll settle with C.
I'm cool with B.
I'm
I don't know
also
if
I'm also cool with B. I think the
I want
extra
to know now
buttons
though.
were nice.
I want to know now if it was like the first controller with bumpers,
It was.
because that makes was it? You
Yeah.
should like you. All right, like I'll take your word for it. But
I just looked it up, and it was the first controller with bumpers that came out in 1990.
yeah, okay, yeah, that's easy. B.
Yeah, that's kind of it's kind of a big deal. I mean, honestly, if I was a dick on the other side, I'd be like, it's revolutionary, it has to be A. You know what I mean? I mean, really. I mean, it really was. If it was the first controller with bumper, every controller has bumpers now. So it could push for A tier. It really could.
Ah.
I mean, I like your argument.
Yeah.
It took a normal
Okay, let's
design.
throw it in S. While we're at it, let's just come on. Like, come on.
I mean, like it took a revolutionary design and added bumpers. Like,
And bumpers are.
it added 2 different sets of buttons.
I ain't buying a controller nowadays if it doesn't have a bumper on it.
You're welcome.
And I'm not buying a controller nowadays either if it's not where I can grab it like this with 2 hands. So I'll take both arguments.
I like that. I mean, I don't know if it's an S tier though. I mean,
Yeah, I was being a smartass. Okay, but I'm okay with
Same.
A. Yeah, I'm okay with A.
I didn't say I had to push for A, but I'm saying the argument is to be made.
Yeah.
With being the first one with bumpers, if we already made the argument of it being the first controller going with like holding it like this, then I think it should be in the same space with it.
I'm fine
It
with
changed
that.
it. It changed an already crazy good thing to an even better thing. In my, that's just me. Man, I really talk with my hands.
Hey, it's good for the camera. It's good production.
All right, what do we got? What do we got next? What are these last 3 looking like egg potato looking?
I believe these 2 are Sega, and this is a Dreamcast. I'm not sure if that's correct.
Man, I'm not old enough.
I think. Okay, so yeah, the white one's definitely Dreamcast. The middle one is a Genesis because I remember playing NBA Jam with it. But I don't know what the fuck that one on the end is. Is that?
What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
Can I look it up? Like, I mean, we can't even have an idea. So.
Sure. We don't know what the fuck it is.
It wasn't important enough for us to remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really don't know where that's from.
Honestly, I would be alright with setting all of these in D tier because I don't think they're very good controllers.
I'm trying to find it.
I'm
struggling.
I didn't play with the Sega Genesis like Kanan said he did, but oh wait a minute, is it the one with like the 3 buttons on the side, like A, B, and C or whatever, and then you had the D-pad?
Yeah.
So that was the Sega Genesis, right?
Yeah.
Or is that what that one is? Or
the one my mouse is on is the.
Okay, because I was like, because I'm looking at it. Okay, yes. I think that other one is just a different version of it. That's by what happened.
Pro controllers back in the day.
Oh, I just saw how much they were worth on Amazon, or not Amazon, but eBay. Holy.
Yeah.
There's somebody selling one from Japan. It's a used one for $662.
What the fuck?
Just the controller?
It's an original one though, so that's why. You can buy knockoff ones for like $15 on here, $16, but not an original one.
Yeah, video collectors, they're serious.
Yeah, dude, GameCube stuff is like collectible now. Like you can Mario Baseball's like $120. Because nobody bought Mario Baseball back in the day, so there's not a lot of copies of it. So now people want to collect it, and it's worth a lot. I have it, by the way. So.
Well, hold on to that. It might be worth a lot when you're like 80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep moving around like I'm doing it. It's gonna go missing.
The only one that I can say definitively is the Dreamcast, and that's a D tier.
Yeah.
I didn't really play it, so I don't know if I even ever held one of those controllers.
My reasoning, like I really didn't play with this one either, but I've had my hands on one, and if you look at the bottom, you can see that the cord comes directly out of the bottom, which is not cool for me because it's gonna land on me. And to fix this, what they did was they just put a notch at the top of the controller so you could fucking loop it, and that always pissed me off because I'm like, I knew you guys were like 2 years into development and never thought about the cord placement, so you said, "Oh, we'll just throw a notch up there, huh? Slap a band-aid on that one, you know."
But when did the Dreamcast come out? Was it after the two whatever so or not the two revolutionary ones? Was it after those two?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
was it
Dreamcast came out in '98.
yeah. That was well after.
That thing is trash. That's why I never held it or played it.
I think the only thing they did different was they had a little screen in the middle, but
Looks like my controller's got a dick. Why the fuck would I want to hold that?
I don't know.
Wanna play with
Why
that?
would you want to hold a controller that looks like it has a dick? That's
That one's
crazy.
a shrimp little. At least the other one's hard.
That's crazy. That's wild.
as soon as he said that, I was like, "Here we go again."
No, that other one has a point though. That one is just a cord, a little limp dick in my way.
He said, if you're gonna give me
He
said, you're gonna give me a dick, it better be a fucking rager, okay?
That's what I'm saying.
You better come correct.
Pop a blue chew before you get over here.
Yeah. At least they knew what they were doing. They made that bitch thick.
Jesus
And it has something there that I can. Whoa! It has something there that you can that you can move.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean by that?
Is that why you put that controller so high up? Is that something you could? Something you could what? Something you could what, James?
Anyway, that last controller, we can put that in the D category because I can't find it.
I mean, just because of like I'm partial to it, I would put it in C, but that is purely because of nostalgia. I had a lot of fun on NBA Jam, but yeah, there's not really special.
The last one?
Yeah, the last one.
The last one. The Sega one?
Yeah, the Sega Genesis. Like I actually did play with that one a lot. I really liked it.
Its shape is really off. I didn't really play with it much, so like I can't really make an argument for it, but it looks like an egg almost.
Yeah, I don't know. It always felt good. It always like felt good to hold in your hands, and I'm
It's
pretty
just
sure
like
it had
it's
3
like
buttons
rounded
too. Yeah.
And it just rounded and then like goes up under like that. Like it's
Yeah, I thought like
it's an odd shape.
It made like a nice like arc with the top of your fingers. But like I said, it's pure nostalgia. I have no other reasons.
I bet if you held it now, you'd hate it.
Probably.
Your hands are bigger. But as a kid, you were probably like, "This is fucking great."
That's a great point. Yeah, I've grown a lot since I was 8. That's a great fucking point.
I'm just saying.
All right, so
When you were 8 years old, it was amazing, I'm sure. Also, I'm sure people though back in the day loved it too. They were like, "This is pretty cool." So, I mean, that's how I was with a GameCube. So, and now if I play a GameCube, I'm like, "What the fuck is this?"
I'm good with these placements though. I'm all right with them.
All right, wait, so here's my thing though. So now we have the order of these.
I say we go bottom up.
Oh, okay. I was gonna start from top down.
No, you gotta leave the best for the last. You gotta leave the 2 kings to battle it out at the last.
Okay, so I would put I'd almost put the corded Xbox 360 controller in the front.
In the front?
I was thinking the same thing as well.
I don't know why it's not moving for you.
There
you go. I would also probably put maybe the PlayStation 2 controller. The fact that it doesn't have joysticks really hurts.
I feel like it would look like, I don't know. It's like all right, James now, and then that's just James without a mustache. You know what I mean? It ain't right. You know what I mean? It really does. It looks like I got a clean shave.
That controller looks like I bought it off of Wish.
It kind of does.
Like it looks like an aftermarket controller.
It looks like somebody fucked up.
Yeah, I think. Ooh, I don't know. There's some stinkers down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Dreamcast is pretty ass. The freaking Wii U, we all agreed from the very, 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 very beginning of this that it was ass.
It was pretty.
It's not even.
It's not a controller.
It's literally a tablet with buttons.
Yeah. So I think it deserves to be at the very end. I would still take that PS2 controller, even though there's no freaking joystick on it.
I say Dreamcast goes second to last. It's a smidge above the Wii U.
All right, I can agree with that.
Okay. I'm okay with that right there. Like, well, actually,
I don't know. I
feel
think
like
I might put
Sega
this.
should go like that.
Yeah.
I think.
Because I don't even know what controller this goes or what console this
Yeah.
goes to.
Yeah, but it still looks better than the other two.
Yeah,
And-
anything's better than the Dreamcast controller.
Yeah, I think.
But I like I said, I didn't really play the Sega, so like I can't argue a whole lot there. But
Let's see.
I don't know. You maybe Kanan could. I don't know.
Well, I mean that wouldn't be too uncomfortable because I was thinking like, okay, without the joysticks, where am I going to place my thumbs? But like, oh, actually, I don't know. It feels like it's falling out of my hand if I hold it like this.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah,
I'm holding it
right.
like this.
It feels like it's falling out of your hand.
Yeah, it feels like I also feel just odd
Yeah, that doesn't.
without
Yeah,
That doesn't.
my
feel
hands
good.
set differently than. Oh yeah, it low key feels like it's about to just. That's so odd how that is. Okay, that was
Right.
weird.
Because I was gonna make the argument like, well, I mean, it still feels comfortable in the hands, but it really doesn't.
yeah.
I say,
Plus,
Yeah,
without
probably.
the analog sticks, the PlayStation controller just looks cheap.
Did it even really still work the same? I guess it kind of did. You just used the D-pad.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
think that some
That
games
feels.
like the functionality was definitely because I remember wasn't this when no, this wasn't pole position. Was this when I think this was when the first Gran Turismo came out.
Oh, well then yeah, that sucks then, because you can't really you can't steer like so like you can look like all over, you can really move whichever direction you want, but when you're just like left, right, up, down, like I know it's not exactly like that. It was a little different, but it makes a huge difference. I feel like.
Right, because if you were like turning left in Gran Turismo, it would be all or nothing. Right, you couldn't
Yeah,
have a
Yeah.
45 angle.
you just. Turn.
Right. I don't know. Maybe it goes right in the middle of the pack, I guess, with that unnamed controller.
I almost would. The Genesis had a joystick, didn't it?
No, it did not. This was back in the time before that was really a big thing. I think PS1 was like the first one to really do it.
I guess for its console though, then it worked better.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that.
So you could, because we put the other like PS2 or PS1 controller in C tier, so it in itself that was an ass controller. So would we put move the Genesis ahead of it?
I would just because I feel like the Genesis works better for the Genesis, and I feel like the second iteration of the PS1 controller works better for the
Works
PS1.
better. That's why we put it in
Yeah.
C. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Bottom row, good to me.
All right. Let's get that out of the way.
Get that. Fair,
Yeah,
fair.
that was everybody
Very
was looking
fair.
at that.
Yeah. I didn't need to be at the front, that's for sure.
I mean, I'm not too against how it is right now. Like,
I might put the Xbox One in the front.
you want it up here?
Yeah, I'm not against that. I mean, I don't know how you guys think.
Like, I feel like these three are interchangeable for me. Like, I feel like, again, I don't have any personal connection with that one, but I know since it's a newer controller, the functionality is better than these two.
I
But
would give
for
it the
these
3.
consoles,
Go ahead, sorry.
I was just saying, for these consoles, I mean, they did what they were supposed to.
Yeah,
This
I would say
one
the
would have
3
to be
goes there though. Yeah, the 3 would
Yeah.
have to go in front of the 2. I would agree with that.
because they took this design that was already good, or they took this design that was already good, turned it into this, and they took the design that was already good and cut the wire out. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it would really like you would either have to put the Xbox One at first, or you'd have to put it at fourth because you really can't break up those PlayStation controllers. They're too similar, really.
yeah,
The only other way I could see we fix that is bumping the Xbox One controller to a B. That would be the only other way that would fix that, and then it'd be in the right position then too. So
yeah.
I just don't know if I could give it a B.
Yeah, I don't know. Brett, you got an argument for Xbox One being B? You've had some heavy hitters the little time you've talked about them.
With the very, very few controllers I've said.
Let's hear your piece.
Nah, I'm perfectly fine with it being at C, mainly just because I didn't get enough controller time, I guess you'd call it.
Too much exposure to it.
Yeah, I didn't get enough. The only time I got to play it was, well, Dalen knows him, was when I went over to buddy Daniel's house, and he had an Xbox One. Most of the time I've had PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 4. So I didn't really get much exposure to the whatever Microsoft calls their controller up there.
So,
So you good with where it's at?
or yeah, should we put the 3 little group up of like PlayStation controllers go in front of it? Because I think like I kind of agree with Kanan that I think those 3 should kind of stick together because they're so
Yeah.
similar.
Right.
That's kind of like a package deal.
They're kind of because like they just made small little things, and each time they got better, but it wasn't like a big enough difference to put it any higher.
And I feel like the Xbox One was a downgrade from the 360 rather than what the PlayStation did, where it improved every time.
Yeah, so like you would either have to argue that it's the best out of the 4 there, or it's the 4th best.
Yeah, that's how I see it. But I mean, we could split it. I mean, we could say fuck it and split it. I mean, I could go either way. We're splitting hairs at this point, you know.
Yeah.
They're all on C tier anyways. They're all
that's fair.
They're all a little below mid.
The next one though.
I'm not looking forward to the next one.
All right, you boys ready to stretch this bitch to 2 hours or what?
Yeah, no.
Not even get to S tier yet. Just arguing over
on
mid
B
controllers.
or over and over. Should it be the higher mid controller?
So
I guess we're on to B. Yeah. Yep. That's exactly.
Now you're just trying to start
Yeah.
shit.
I will admit the Switch controllers light years better than that thing, but like
I just think it has more to offer is all. That's
yeah. I think they're very similar though. Like that's what we said, like why we put it there is because I think they're very similar in the aspect of how they tried to do it. Now I know Kanan didn't agree.
I thought it was C tier. But it is what it is.
I think they both like have multiple functions and it worked well for their time. The Switch still works great nowadays because of its versatility, and that worked really great for its versatility back however long ago.
And you can kind of make an argument to where like it has enough buttons and functionality. I'm sure you could find a game nowadays that you could probably use that on. I'm not saying you should.
You might be able to play Rocket League with it, you know, maybe.
Yeah. Like
that'd be crazy.
I'm sure it's still got functionality. It's just it's not as good as a Switch controller. Like
I'm just telling you, if you play Rocket League and you're pretty decent at it, and you stream while you're using a freaking 64 controller, bro, you're gonna have some people watching you. I'm just saying, if you over there with that freaking thing in your hand, that big freaking Tyrannosaurus claw looking at thing on you, and you're winning. Imagine seeing that later, like on YouTube. Somebody beat you. You remember their name? You look on YouTube, and they're beating you with a Nintendo 64 controller on Rocket League.
I feel like a piece of shit. I didn't uninstall the game. I'd quit.
Yeah.
There's no going.
I'd probably quit. I'm not gonna lie. He's over here freaking double tapping, hitting aerial shots, and you're over there just like, you know, like you gonna watch that, and he's using an N64 controller. Yeah, uninstalled, retired.
Would you have the same effect if he was playing, or if they was playing Apex? Because I know that thing has a trigger like right in the middle.
Oh, it does.
Oh yeah. I'm still retired. I'm still retiring. If I'm losing to that, yeah. If I'm losing almost on any video game like that's like relevant in the last 10 years, and to that controller, yeah, I'm retiring from it. It is going off my whatever game I am, like console or computer I'm on. It's gone.
Imagine getting 360 no scope with that thing.
I might off myself. I'm just kidding. Whoa, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you can't say that on YouTube. You can't say that on YouTube.
We'll bleep it in post.
We're gonna have to fix it in post.
Ah, man, my bad.
I'm sure this deep into the video, no AI is watching.
Yeah,
that's so dumb. Anyway, it's a joke. I mean, I'm not trying to make light of that, but I'm just saying that it was just a joke in that moment.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's wild. I have no problem with it. I mean,
anyway, I'm fine with the tier, the list on B.
You know, I've actually kind of had a change of heart, and I think that the Joy-Con might have to go second.
Oh.
Because of what we just said?
Yeah, and I honestly, you know, even though it's a Rhino dick, but I mean, if we've established that it's in B tier, I think that just for the boldness of the controller, you know what I mean? Because the Switch, it was set up. It was set up for success. It had to work with the console, but they didn't have to do that, and they did. So I think it should go in front.
Okay.
It's the better controller in this tier list. In this one specific tier list.
He said, "Hold on. You calm the fuck down."
Now we can go band for band any day outside of this tier list, and I will shit on that controller. But in this instance, I think it deserves its props.
That's funny.
Okay. I mean, much respect. You good with this, Brett?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I don't really play the Switch that much, even though we literally have one downstairs.
Oh man, we know you practice Mario Kart.
I
when you're
don't
not
practice.
home.
You notice how he had to try to throw that in, try to sneak that in? I mean, I don't even play it.
I
much.
don't even play that much. You know, it's just kind of casual work.
It's whatever, and he's like the -- Mario freaking kart player in the world. I don't play it that much.
Nah, he ain't no number one. Calm down.
He's the number one in the house for sure.
Yeah.
Just I have to come show him up.
Good luck with that.
Good luck. Good luck. He's the GOAT around here.
Yeah.
He beats
I've
my
never
ass.
seen him lose.
He beats my ass, so I don't have an argument against it.
Yeah.
He fucking practices at night when we're all sleeping.
I don't.
See, there he goes.
I swear sometimes in the middle of the night I just hear
He's over there
Mario Yahooing like
he's over there got his head just like real close to the screen. He's like, I'm gonna show them turn me up, Brett, one more fucking time.
I'm gonna make them all fucking hate.
I'm gonna make them all fucking hate their life. Right here with Mario Kart.
Since the projector's facing the wall over here, I just walk out one day and Brett's just like up against the wall, like
no fucking imagine he's just staring into the eye of the projector.
God.
Jesus Christ.
This man's playing backwards and upside down.
He's just all wide-eyed. He's like, he said, turn me up one more time. One more time too many.
The image is getting just immediately transmitted to his brain. He's like, he's not even watching it. He just
it's fucking burned into his eye like an old LED TV.
He's over there. He's lapped the AIs freaking 10 times. You know, he's over there. He's won already. It doesn't even matter.
Hey, that would be impressive, getting lapped 10 times in a three lap race.
Yeah, he's done it. He's done it.
He gets a 7-lap head start.
He's just a speedrunner like that.
I'm a runner. I'm a track star.
Done all the shortcuts.
All right, so A tier.
All right, so
I'm sorry, but the Switch controller would have to go at the end of the A tier.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. It's a basic ass controller. It does look aftermarket, to be fair. Now that we're not arguing about it.
It does go in the A. We haven't decided that, but it does go at the end of A.
Yeah.
I'm almost willing to say that like the GameCube would be next.
To the end?
Yeah, after that, there.
I wouldn't put it that low.
You wouldn't put it that low? Because it didn't make like anything revolutionary. The other two did, and so did the Wii.
See, I feel like this one should go in front of this one just because
it's the better
same
version
thing.
of it.
Yeah, it's the same argument with the PlayStation controllers. It's the same thing, just improved on.
But like the GameCube controller wasn't really revolutionary of its time. So the reason we put those other ones at the A tier was because they made such large jumps in technology of those times. The GameCube controller really didn't do that. It was just a very comfortable controller.
Yeah, it was just a good controller all around. I understand. Yeah. I can get that.
Yeah, I agree.
But I was like, but the Wii, it was the motion. The other two were what made controllers what we have nowadays, basically.
It was a preferred controller out of the set of. I don't know if I would call them consoles because the Wii obviously was its own console, but like the Kinect was just an attachment to the Xbox. It wasn't really a console.
They tried selling that thing hard though.
Oh yeah, I had one. It was a lot of fun.
Didn't they start bundling it with the 360 at one point?
Yeah. because nobody was gonna go out and just buy the attachment to it, like separately.
Yeah, I say okay. Yeah. With that in mind, I say GameCube's gotta go lower.
Right there.
I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with
Brett, Brett sounded like you had something to say.
No, I was just saying that mainly because James was. It sounded like James was so keen on putting it second right behind the Wii controller or the Wii remotes.
No, I'm saying it goes where it's at now.
Okay.
I was like, because I don't think it made any like jumps in technology compared to those other three that are at the front of the A tier.
Nah.
Because that was why we put the fucking square one on the A tier, and we finally decided after all that time was because it went from a joystick to in your hand like this, so that's why it's in the A tier. So I don't think if that is what we're going off of, those three are in the right order in my opinion.
I'm fine with that. Like,
And then the other two at the end are just controllers. I mean, if we put them like at base, like they're just controllers.
We're calling a spade here.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now those top
then
three though.
No, those top two in the S. Now them mugs.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
tough.
It is a tough one.
I think it's fine how it is.
Personally, for me, yeah, because I think it was how James put it, saying like everyone pretty much started off on the 360 and then moved over to PlayStation 4 once it came out. And
I mean,
that's how it was for me.
If that's the case, then technically the PS2 controller should have been higher because we all started there.
We're just going timeline here. My only thing, like me personally, I would put the PS4 first because the 360, nobody really remembers it, but the first iterations of the 360 controllers that came out in 2006, the D-pad was actually sideways, so that way they could make it to an X. So for a good minute, the D-pad was fucked up. The D-pad was fucked up. They fixed it, but it was fucked up.
But my reasoning for the difference is the durability. I'm pretty sure I still have this. I still have the same Xbox controller that I used day in and day out when I was playing, and it still will turn on and work. I'm not gonna lie. The first PS4 controller that I got, I'm pretty sure I broke it in like a couple months.
That's true.
Like the sticks. Remember the one that you got me, that white one? That thing broke within like a month.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks. That's a great fucking point, dude. Because I just had to buy a whole new PlayStation controller because my right stick had stick drift and I couldn't play shooter games.
The controller is amazing. It feels great in your hands. Like the movement with it when it works right, it was great. But when it doesn't, it sucks. Whenever one part of it messes up, it's a trash controller.
Yeah, I get that. My only argument would have been PlayStation 4 was one of the first, like, I wouldn't say the first controller, but one of the first to really get completely rid of the battery, like having to have batteries, like external batteries, I guess, like a battery pack. Like, and they went all in with it.
They also, I think they were the ones first to ever do like that little like that touch thing in the middle. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a pretty big deal.
The little pad in the middle was really cool.
Yeah, because like I mean I know like the PlayStation 3 had the wireless controller, but it's not anywhere close to a PlayStation 4 controller.
Yeah, it was just a PS2 controller they took the wire out.
Yeah.
The PS4 did. I mean, admittedly, I didn't use it, but it did also have an internal speaker. That's a novelty, you know.
Yeah. The PS5 one has one now too. So
it has a mic.
It has it where a
microphone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I found that out the hard way.
That's what I'm saying. Like it made a lot of jumps. There was a huge difference in my opinion from the 3 to the 4. Huge difference.
Yeah, it really was. And the PS4 controller was great for claw players because they made it slimmer so that way people with shorter fingers could do this. And if you had longer fingers like I do, you can turn this into an extra button. You know, so it's got that going for it. But I don't know if I can overlook the durability issues because that's a big deal.
Yeah.
The durability of a PS4 controller is rough.
I'm good with that. It's like that durability. Yeah. I just had to buy a new controller. Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
I'm good with it.
So that's our list.
That's a dub.
That's our list. It only took us.
Who would have thought?
An hour and a half.
Holy
It's been an hour and a half. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Who would have thought we could argue over some fucking controllers?
Oh man, I was kind of wanting to see how tilted we could get Kanan about that. I was tempted to keep going, but I was like, it's gonna be a long ass video.
I'm not
We kept it going for a minute.
In the end, when y'all kept using that same point, I'm not gonna lie, like my heart started beating faster. Like I actually, like internally, was getting a little tilted. I was like, are they just not like listening to me, or like what's going on? Because they keep bringing up this same point, and I've counter argued it, and they haven't moved on yet.
Bro, I remember because you kept like.
I had to readjust myself.
You readjust multiple times, and I was like, oh, this boy about to break something,
bro. Because it's already hot
controller.
In here, and I'm not. My blood pressure was going up, so like I had to get some air moving around my body.
That was awesome.
Ooh, yeah,
Content.
that was good.
That's content.
Yeah.
I guess we need to sign off.
Yeah, I guess so. Dalen, kick us off. You're at the end. Or the
Also,
beginning.
you started us out, so only right for you to start the finish.
All right. So, thanks for checking out the tier list. We'll have a new video next week. You can find me at FordaHubyt on YouTube and FordaHub42 on TikTok. James, where can I find you at?
Oh man, what's up? What's up? It's James right here. You can find me on Instagram, jparsons_76. That's about all I got. I don't really do the YouTube like these guys. I'm not cool. I'm just the token white boy. Glad to be accepted. Almost probably got kicked off after this one, though. But if you guys made it this far, I appreciate you. And I don't know who's next in the rotation on the screens, but
It'll be Brett.
we can kick it to Brett. We kick it to Brett. Hit him with it, Brett. Where can they find you?
All right, so on Instagram they can find me at Brett_Wade. Twitter they can find me at pickup Brett, and then on YouTube it's just Brett Wade. Kanan,
You should definitely turn it to turn me up, Brett.
No,
Dude, that'd be amazing for marketing.
I would love it.
Yeah.
I would love that so much, bro. If you made that, turn me up, Brett, bro, and then you could just put there's a million clips of us probably going, turn me up, Brett.
Yeah,
turn me up.
It could be
just
a
have that
producer
on my
tag as well.
YouTube. Just have
Bro.
Hey, start making music. There you go.
Hey.
I was gonna say just
right
start
before the
having
beat
that.
drop. Hurry up, Brett.
All right, before we get on too far, go ahead, Kanan.
Yeah, we're already an hour and a half in. So if y'all made it this far, you guys obviously like us. Subscribe, turn on the bell. Like I said, if you made it an hour and a half, you obviously like what we're doing. So subscribe button, like, whatever. It helps out a lot with the confidence and helps us keep going and making these. But you can find me personally on Instagram at Kanan with 5 A's.
That's what you said last
Yeah,
week.
5 A's. Yes, it's 5 A's. I have an
I
email.
don't even know.
Well, no, I have an email that only has 4 for some reason, and I forget, but it's up there anyways. YouTube got to be fresh. I actually upload regularly. Check out my X Defiant video. But that's all I got. If you guys ain't got nothing to say, we can just kick it out right there.
Deuces.
Later. See y'all later.